Hello my dear students, in this video we're going to start chapter 8, lesson 1, what is one way to change matter. To change something means to make it different. You can change the size of the matter, shape of it, or its color. When you change the size, shape, or color, you're actually making a physical change. You're making physical change. Physical change happens when something changes, but the kind of matter stays the same. It happens when something changes, but the kind of matter stays the same. How? Cutting. Cutting is a physical change. Why? Because when we cut a paper, the size and the shape of the paper is going to change, but we will start with a paper and we will end up with a paper too. So the kind of matter doesn't change. Like here, we start with a paper and at the end I'm going to have a paper too, but with different shape. So cutting changes the matter but not the kind of it. Also here, when we cut an orange, we're changing the size and the shape of it, but we started with an orange and we will end up with an orange. It's not going to change and become an apple, for example. So it's a physical change. Cutting is a physical change. Why? Because it changes the matter, but it doesn't change the kind of matter. The kind of matter stays the same. You start with something and you end up with the same thing, same material, but in different shape and size. Also, folding is a physical change. Why? When we fold a paper, we're changing the size and the shape of the paper, but it is a paper. It is a paper. The kind of matter did not change. Like here, even when you fold a paper, you're changing the shape, the size. You can make any shape you want. You can make anything with a paper, but at the end, you'll end up with a paper with different shape and size. So folding also is a physical change. Another physical change is coloring. Why coloring is a physical change? Because you're not changing the kind of matter, you're just coloring it. Like here, coloring the paper. You started with a white paper and you ended up with blue paper. So from at the beginning it was a paper, at the end it is a paper, and just the color has changed. So this is a physical change. Another physical change is bending. Like here, pipe cleaner. You can use it to make different shapes, different things, but you'll start with a pipe cleaner and at the end it's a pipe cleaner but with different shape. Let's watch with what she's going to do. Let's see what she's making. As you can see, bending it, it's a pipe cleaner but with different shape. This is bending, okay, folding it. Can you guess what she's making? Okay, so bending is a physical change because you start with a material and you end up with the same material but with different shape or size or color. So as you can see here, you can make different shapes from a pipe cleaner, but it's a pipe cleaner at the end. Same material, same kind of matter. Molding. We can make different shapes with Play-Doh, any shape you want, and at the end you'll have Play-Doh. It's not going to become something different, something else. So because we started with a kind of matter and we ended up with the same kind of matter but a different shape, different size, we say this is a physical change. Okay, now changing the state of matter. We have 3 states of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. How can we change them? We can change them by heating or cooling. Let's see how. Now, you have to know that changing the state of matter actually is a physical change. Let's see why. First, melting. What is melting? Melting is change of the state of matter from solid to liquid. From solid to liquid. How can we change a solid to liquid? By heating. When we heat it, it becomes a liquid. But you have to know, not all kinds of matter will change to liquid when we heat them. Here, if you have a cube of ice and you heat it, it's going to change into liquid water. We start with water and we end up with water also. So the kind of matter didn't change, only the state of matter has changed. This is why melting is a physical change, because only the state of matter has changed, but not the kind of matter. This is a solid water, this is liquid water. So we started with water and we ended up with water too, but only the state of matter has changed, so it is a physical change. Melting is physical change. Here, another example is ice cream. It is melting. Also butter. You can see that by heating it, it changes from solid to liquid. We started with solid butter and we ended up with liquid butter, but it's the same matter. The first one was solid, and the next one or the other one is a liquid. We only changed the state of matter, not the kind of matter. That's why it's a physical change. Now the opposite of melting is freezing. Freezing is change of the state of matter from liquid to solid. From liquid to solid. Remember, melting was from solid to liquid. Now freezing is from liquid to solid. How can we change a matter from liquid to solid? By cooling it. When we cool it, it changes from liquid to solid. Like when we cool water, it changes into ice. Freezing also is a physical change. Why? Because only the state of matter has changed, but the kind of matter stays the same. We started with liquid water, ended up with solid water. It's the same matter, water and water, but the state of matter has changed. So melting and freezing. Melting and freezing, they are the opposite of each other. Melting is changing from solid to liquid, like changing from ice into water. Freezing is changing from liquid to solid, like changing from water to ice. Now, another physical change is evaporation. Evaporation. Evaporation is change of state of matter from liquid to gas. From liquid to gas. How can we change a liquid into gas? By heating. When we heat a liquid, it changes into gas. Evaporation is also a physical change. Why? Because when we heat the water, it changes into water vapor. So we started with water and we ended with water too, but only the state of matter has changed. The kind of matter did not change. We started with liquid water and we ended up with gaseous water. So just the state of matter has changed, not the kind of matter. Let's look at this drop of water. It looks like it's disappearing, but actually it is evaporating. The water changes into water vapor. How does it change into water vapor? Let's look at this one. The heat from the sun warms the water and it changes it into water vapor. So evaporation is a physical change. Why? Because only the state of matter changes, not the kind of matter. Now the opposite of evaporation is condensation. Condensation is the change of state of matter from gas to liquid. From gas to liquid. How can we change the gas into liquid? By cooling it. When we cool the water vapor, it changes into water. So it's a physical change again because only the state of matter has changed, but not the kind of matter. We have water here and water here, but here in the gaseous state and here is in the liquid state. So evaporation and condensation are the opposite of each other. Evaporation, changing from liquid to gas, like from water to water vapor, while condensation is from gas to liquid, like from water vapor to water. Now let's watch this video to see the changes of state of matter.
Cubes in a plate and keep it on a table. After half an hour, observe. The ice cubes have melted and turned into water, that is liquid.
This change from solid state to liquid state is called melting.
With the help of an adult, pour the water in a small saucepan and heat it. After a few minutes, water will start boiling and you shall find steam rising up. This is water vapor, which is in a gaseous state.
The process of converting water from liquid state to the gaseous state is called evaporation.
Now remove the saucepan from the fire, cover it with a lid. After a few minutes, lift the lid. Carefully look at the underside of the lid. You will find droplets of water. Water vapor comes in contact with the cool surface of the lid and condenses back into water.
This is called condensation.
Cool the water in the saucepan for some time. Then pour it in an ice tray. Keep it inside the freezer of a refrigerator. Remove the ice tray from the freezer after 3 hours. You will find that the water has frozen back into ice, that is, in solid state.
This process is called freezing.
Very well, so you've seen the video. Now this is the end of our lesson. If you have any question, please ask me, and study well.